Hey guys, Nasty Nate AAA here, bringing you another video game. I know I've been bouncing around a lot lately, but please bear with me if you're still watching. What we have today for you is some Age of Empires game. I wanted to kind of introduce this game, talk a little bit about it. It's a pretty fun game, and kind of compare it to StarCraft. While we go over this, I'm gonna probably speed it up here. But this is a 2v2 game between myself and Hasu against some players on the ladder here. Let's see if I can reveal the whole map. There we go. So up in the top corner here, you got me playing as the Delhi Sultanate, and then it looks like we have a four spawn, two rivers, kind of converging the map into four quadrants. Basically, this map is called Convergence, and sure you can figure out why. But let me speed this up, and then as we go along here, here's Hasu down to my bottom right. He is playing English. I believe there are 6 races: French, English, Mongols, Delhi, Arab. What is it? I forget. Some kind of Arab race, Abbasid dynasty, and then you've got Holy Roman Empire. So there you go, six races. Obviously they're all human. This is, well, let me just get started with going into my own personal experience in Age of Empires. I never played this game before. I've never played any of the previous Age of Empires games. I've always been a StarCraft player, but you know, we're kind of in an RTS drought right now, so this is what we've got. It's an interesting game. I actually really enjoyed it. I didn't think I would like it as much as I am enjoying it, to be honest with you. And there aren't a lot of other options out there right now for people who are looking for a good RTS game. And this is what we got. There are flaws. It's a new game, so obviously, you know, a lot of people are saying, you know, it's not finished yet, or it's not balanced. A lot of balance complaints are going on right now with this game. But if you think about, you know, previous RTSs when they first came out, how balanced was StarCraft 2 and Wings of Liberty, right? It was just, there were these small maps, people would 2-rax you all the time, you know. There was the whole Broodlord Infestor meta, there was, you know, the friggin' Archon toilet, there was all kinds of crap, you know, that you don't want to, you know, remember. It was just a black hole in StarCraft 2. So, this game's new. There are issues with both the balance and with the UI design. As you can even see here, this minimap is extremely small, very hard to see. The you can't rebind these hotkeys. It's all a grid system. I guess I can't really display in the, oh, as you can see here, there it is. So if you select a unit, you can see AS, FG. You know, it's like, I mean, I actually like it because I don't know the hotkeys for this game anyways, and it works perfectly for me. So I probably wouldn't even change really any of them here. But a lot of people obviously want to customize their hotkeys. So now that we've talked a little bit about the bad things, let's go into some of the fun stuff. So as you can see, there's like a bunch of different types of resources in this game. There's food, there's wood, there's gold, there's stone. And there's lots of different ways to get most of these resources, especially food and gold. There's several different methods of acquiring them throughout the game. All the factions have their own kind of, they're all human obviously, so there's not that much variation. They have, basically the early game revolves around 3 central units, which are spearmen, archers, and horsemen. And it's kind of like a rock, paper, scissors kind of thing here. Archers counter spearmen, spearmen counter horses, and horses rush and charge archers and beat them. So that's kind of the meta in the early game. And then and it expands from there. There's siege units in the late game, which kind of add a whole new dynamic. But each race kind of has its own specialties. There's lots of economic upgrades. There's lots of macro involved in this game. I would say it's a little bit less micro intensive than StarCraft is, with the mechanics there. So that's kind of an unfortunate part of it, but I really like the macro mechanics, and And a lot of the ways of gathering resources and using choke points to your advantage, you can see here, because of these 4 rivers kind of dividing all the map up, we have these choke points at the water. And of course, you know, this being like a medieval kind of game, you can't really get around these choke points. I mean, like, you could build the docks here, get some boats or whatever, but if you really wanted to. But on maps with like a mountain pass, for example, let me turn the volume down a little bit so it's not too loud here. We're getting into some battles. So we can see, like, I'm fighting the Holy Roman Empire on the bottom. He's kind of destroying my wall here. I'm fighting blue. Hasu is down here fighting against red, who is playing as another mirror matchup for him, an English player. And this guy's kind of getting ready to push me with. He's actually, you can build these Magnos. This is a siege unit, so he's must be at least, yeah, tier 3 in the castle age. There's basically 4 ages in the game. It's pretty interesting how it's set up. That are basically different tech levels, and once you reach a new age, you get access to new technologies, upgrades for your unit, stuff like that. And you can see me here with the tower elephants, kind of cleaning all this up. These guys are pretty good. The Delhi have access to these war elephants that are pretty solid units in the mid game. I think they might be countered by siege, but like cannons or something, but they're pretty solid against most infantry and most ground units. Well, they're all ground units, but you can see there's no air units in this game, of course. So it is really all about the walls and the choke points. I really have to get in the habit of building better walls. Like on this map, I did, fortunately, even though I didn't ever. It looks like I didn't ever get to like the stone kind of walling that's going on down here with Hasu and his opponent across the river there. So we've kind of gone back and forth. We're all macroing up. It's kind of a slow game, but let's speed it up here a little bit until we get some more interesting content. I kind of got ahead of myself here, or a little bit behind where I wanted to be in this game. It's you can see you can put the units on top of the walls, which is pretty cool. There's lots of strategic advantages with vision. I'm not sure how the height advantage works in this game, like it does in StarCraft. You don't have the same thing where unless you have an air unit or something, you can't see up in elevation. It's a little different than that. It's kind of like a line of sight thing more so, but I'm not sure if there's any rules applicable to like doing more damage or missing some of your shots if you shoot uphill. But it can usually be an advantage to have the high ground, like most games, but sometimes it's a little iffy. So that's one of the things that has kind of eluded me and confused me in this game is how vision works and how a lot of these things like walls and towers, especially, you build these towers on your wall and they give you more access, like these outposts and things, keeps maybe. Any kind of defensive structure might give you a lot more vision. Sometimes even up hills, so it can be a little bit confusing how the fog of war works. But you can see here we're harvesting, we've got farms going, you know, I got all my peasants working pretty hard right now. We got up to 85 workers. You know, we're kind of like StarCraft. I would say it's kind of like it's a 200 supply max, so you're kind of looking for the same kind of macro mechanics. You know, you got 80 to 90 some workers if you want a good economy in the late game, and then you just pump an army after that. So you can see this guy's kind of pushing across. He's blowing up my keeps, and I finally got the stone wall up here, but now he's coming over. Let's see what's going on down here in the bottom. So meanwhile, you know, Hasu's getting sieged by these trebuchets. He's getting ready to fight as well. I'm getting pushed up here on the top. Let's see what's going to happen. It looks like, well, I guess he's going to take a fight before me. And unfortunately, Hasu really loves to build mass archers, and it's kind of working out for him actually in this part of the fight. And there he made like a baneling ship, I guess what you call it, an explosive ship. Blew up the guy's army. Nice little micro trick there. He built a dock up here, and you can build these demolition ships, which can be quite favorable. One of the only large AoE effects in the game is outside of certain siege engines. Alright, so I'm getting a fight up here, looks like. I've got plenty of war elephants. This guy's got a bunch of men-at-arms. and he's got a lot of them, but I'm clearing them out. You know, I got all these siege units that kind of flanked him, so he just wasted a bunch of his resources. And one of the interesting things I haven't mentioned yet about this game is that there are various types of victory conditions, which are very different from StarCraft. Some of it I find very obnoxious, especially when it goes in favor of your opponent. Others are kind of interesting, I think. I think they have... okay, so basically there's 3 victory conditions in this game. There is destroying all of your opponent's landmarks. So I mentioned earlier about the different ages you progress through. Your first building is your first age, building your first landmark, and then you get 1 for each age after that. So you've got 4 total. And if all 4 of those get destroyed, or all, say you're in an earlier age, all 2 or 3 of them get destroyed, then you're eliminated from the game. All your units are deleted. You can spectate, but you've got nothing. Hopefully you send all your resources to your teammate, which is actually something you're going to see a feature of in this game, which is kind of interesting. But then there's 2 other victory conditions. One being you capture these things called the sacred sites, which are these little things here. There's on this map, it looks like there are 2, 3, 4. There's 1 on each of our islands, basically, in each of our quadrants. So if you capture all 4 of those, hold them for 10 minutes, you have to capture them with a specific unit, a monk, which you get access to in the 3rd age. And then you have to hold on to them for 10 minutes. If you lose them, when you put a unit on there, it slowly fills up, and then it you know, then it's yours after it completely fills. And then if someone gets on it, it starts to deteriorate. If they bring it all the way back down to neutral, then you've lost the point. So that will reset your 10-minute counter, basically, of holding all 4. The final victory condition, which might come into play in this game, if you read the description of this video, you'll find out it's this building that's very expensive to make. You have to be in the final age of the game, and it's basically like an extra landmark you build. And if you build it and you last, speak of the devil, here it is. I built a wonder. I believe it costs about 3,000 of every resource to build, and if you complete one and it stays alive for 15 minutes, you also win the game. So you can see now that these guys are going to get a lot more aggressive and really want to get over here because they need to shut this down. They didn't build their own wonder before I did. I have the first wonder, so if they want a chance at victory, they need to make sure that they either eliminate both of us with the first victory condition by destroying all of our landmarks, or they need to kill that wonder. Or actually, you know what? They could take all 4 sacred sites as well, because that's only a 10-minute timer. If they were able to take them before I reached the 10-minute countdown on my wonder, I believe that they could then achieve victory as well. So they're you know, the most obvious course of action is to just go for the wonder and reset it, and then figure out some other form of victory. Most people will just generally stick to going for the elimination one, which is the simplest, and it can be quite frustrating if you get caught out of position. I've had a few games where I'm winning the game. I have a much larger army, but it's also much slower. Maybe there's a bunch of siege engines or whatever, you know, in the late game. They're very slow units, and then someone flanks me with a bunch of these horsemen or whatever, fire lancers that the Chinese army has. Did I mention them actually? Is there 7 factions? It could be. I may have missed China in my original calculation there, so there might be 7 factions, or civilizations as they call them in this game. So anyways, you see we're getting pushed now because they're trying to get over here and destroy my wonder. I'm kind of pushing blue back with my war elephants, but Hasu's been kind of overrun here, unfortunately. It looks like it's not looking good for him. Right now he's kind of you know, he's killed a lot, but he's also lost a lot here. I'm actually the only one here because of my really expensive, really powerful war elephants. I'm doing very successfully in my battles. I've only lost, you know, 100 units now. Meanwhile, all of the opponents have lost 200 or 300 units. I'm not sure the value though. You know, it could be that these 100 units are worth a lot more, so we're seeing now, actually, I kind of missed it here, I think, but Hasu was eliminated. I believe he sent me some of his resources here, but he lost all of his landmarks. Unfortunately, they're all destroyed. His army was destroyed. So now I'm facing a 2v1. And it's kind of looking grim. I mean, we do have a Wonder victory condition in how many minutes here? Let's see. If we can pull it up. Maybe it doesn't display in the replay mode. That is interesting. I don't see a countdown going on. Well, huh. Okay. Wonder tracker. There we go. Ah, there it is. Okay, so you have to pull it up. Very strange. So we have our war elephants here, and we're just, you know, going ham on. But the problem is my war elephants are very slow, and there's two of them, so they're kind of pulling me back and forth. You know, maybe I should just retreat here, but I just want to delay them as much as possible too. So if I keep them out of my base, then, you know, I'm building this wall. And so this was one of the things actually that confused me about this game, is this guy started building his own wall for whatever reason. I'm not sure if Red realized there was a Wonder victory condition or assumed that Blue could handle it, as he's pushing up this direction now. But I believe this one wall here, this kind of him regrouping, was kind of what allows me to be much more successful in this game than I thought I would be. But I am starting, my war elephant count starting to dwindle. He does have a lot of units here. I don't know what this micro is. He seems to be trying to focus fire my cannons down here, and his cannons are just kind of derping into my elephants. So we got about 6 minutes left on that. Meanwhile, Red's attacking my base, going after my landmarks, so I'm being pulled back this direction. But of course, these slow-ass war elephants, you know, it's frustrating when you're 2v1 now. Your opponent's completely eliminated. Their whole army just, you know, becomes neutral or disappears or whatever it is, and it's all for naught. So now we see that Red is aggressively pushing. Meanwhile, Blue, I don't know, he seems to be building a bunch of barracks up here, as well as reinforcing. They're really just trying to break me, I think, at this point, but I think we're getting close to a point where they have to be like, they have to make a decision and try to establish some kind of victory condition here, either destroying my Wonder or eliminating me. But they're kind of split against me the way the map's set up. You know, it kind of favors my position here a little bit, which is pretty nice. And yeah, we got all these trebuchets for free now, but unfortunately Blue is now making his move, and my elephants are of course way the fuck down here. So looks like he's splitting up his units cleverly against my cannons, or my siege units. I have a few mangonels which do splash damage, and you can apply various formations to your army, which is kind of nice for dealing with that kind of problem. But we are cleaning up his army once again. And now we're at 3 minutes left, so things are looking pretty solid for me. You know, no one's even broken into my Wonder yet. And yeah, I don't know what Red is doing. I guess he really liked having a wall. I don't even see it. Oh, he finally builds a gate here. Okay, so yeah, I'm sure Blue is pretty pissed off right now. His teammate's kind of an idiot. Luckily for me, but it looks like Blue now has a bunch of production buildings up here, which I didn't actually realize when I was playing this game what was going on. I assumed he just moved all his army up there, but I don't think I even noticed this happening when I actually played this game, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, Red's just kind of chilling and watching the timer tick down. We've got less than 2 minutes now for these guys to looks like some of Hasu's neutral units here. They turn white and they don't do much of anything. Enemies won't even attack them anymore, so they're really useless. But it looks like they're charging now. Okay, so the charge is on. Red is just going for it. I can't even catch him. He's got these knights. He knows what's up finally. He's realized it. Meanwhile, Blue up here pushing, for some reason killing my peasants with only 1 minute to spare. I guess he's waiting for his siege units to get in there, but Red has sadly discovered that my Wonder is actually walled off, so this actually came in handy this game. That wall kind of saved me there. And now we're looking at 45 seconds left, and these guys do have a few siege units pushing up, but my units also are on the way, trying to get in here. but he's just going for the wall to get his units in, and then we'll see if they have time. I mean, it's not a lot of time left, to be honest. It's 30 seconds, but it's a pretty close game, you got to admit. I mean, if they break through this wall and just right-click my Wonder, I think that if they're, you know, with a little more time, they might be able to take it out here. See, so he did get a few knights in, but I did cleverly block him with a few of my knights as well. Hold position to the choke there, and now we can see with 4 seconds remaining, he breaks through. They destroy my army, but victory is mine. So that was it, guys. I mean, pretty close game there. Probably another minute, I would say, maybe even 30 seconds if they could have right-clicked my Wonder, depending on how fast it breaks down. And as you can see, even in the background here, as the game progresses, after the victory condition, my Wonder is being destroyed. So that's pretty much it, guys. Very interesting game, very fun. You know, I think I'll be playing this game probably a decent amount, maybe not as much as I played StarCraft, but quite often. I think it's a really fun game. I'm hoping they'll, you know, make some good changes to it, make it a little more balanced, work on some of the UI elements that could be improved, and this will be a really fun game, I think, in the years to come until we get the next big RTS, if we do ever, you know, if one of those, you know, other Blizzard companies or whatever ever makes another RTS, we might have, you know, something from one of those new gaming companies. You guys, I'm sure, can remember the names of, which I cannot at the moment. But anyways, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I may do some more commentaries if people are enjoying this kind of stuff. And you know, I'm still learning the game. I'm watching a lot of the big streamers, Grubby and a couple others who know a lot more and play a lot more of Age of Empires than I do. But it's a fun game, and I recommend check it out. It's kind of expensive right now. You might want to wait to get it on sale. I think I got it over the holidays, and it was, you know, still over $50. So I'm hoping that the price will come down. That it'll be more accessible to more people, and then we'll yeah, we'll be playing this, and hopefully this will be a fun game to play for a few years to come at least. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Nasty Nate out. Peace.